Robert George Swanson II, and I don't normally go by Robert George Swanson II because the second does sound quite pompous, and it's not really about who I am. If you're a frequent of my website, which is www.handsomerob, that's HANDSOM. However, handsomerob.weebly.com. If you're a frequent of the website, you'll know that I discuss social networking. If you read my profile, you'll come to know why I don't use the second at the end of my name. And so I usually just go by Rob Swanson, and I like that. Rob, it's very short. It's one syllable. Rob. So I like that. Anyways, I'm sitting here with Nick Thompson, but we don't call him Nick. As I go by Rob, he goes by Shamo.
Exactly.
Not to be confused with Shamu, because he will kick you if you call him Shamu.
Shamu's a whale.
Shamu's a whale. Shamo is a man of men. Okay, so we're just going to sit here and shoot the ship with a P about social networking. And I've talked on my website a lot about new technology in social networking. But Shamo's he's kind of a web extraordinaire, aka, and he's
expert.
Well, expert.
Yeah,
he's kind of an Apple geek, which, if we know Apple geeks, they're purists to Apple products, but they're also very web savvy. And so we're going to talk about social networking on the web. Shamo, just to get us started here, can you just explain maybe some current trends we're seeing in social networking on the web?
Definitely. Well, with social networking on the web, it's all about the user-generated content. So there's some great sites out there like dig.com, that's digg.com, where you have users basically voting on what news articles are presented at the top of the web page. So it's like a voting system where you have like an article that was, like, say, recently out talking about like Hillary Clinton or something like that. Well, people will dig it up or vote for it, and it'll get put towards the top. And so that's a really interesting trend where you have all these users basically deciding what's important to them in terms of news. And then you actually have a large base of people actually just checking this website to see what's current, what's kind of trendy, all based on what other people think is current and trendy.
So theoretically speaking, if I found an article on the web about Britney Spears or her sister's pregnancy or all this, because there's such a Britney Spears hoopla, and I think that's super important. A whole bunch of other Americans think that's important. It could be voted to the top of this website.
Exactly.
So basic understanding is that we as a society choose what news is important.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's basically, instead of the news media telling us what's correct, we're telling each other what's correct. So I think that's one of the big things, is kind of almost sticking it to the establishment.
Do you think that's, are there positive implications of this?
There's positives and there's negatives. I mean, there's positives that you may see a view that you never have before. There's negatives too, where you could potentially get third-party groups digging up certain articles that represent them. Like, for example, when Ron Paul was still in the Republican running. Yeah, mm-hmm. Sorry. A lot of his articles got digged up a lot because he had a huge following online of these web-savvy kids, and so his views got kind of shoved down your throat, if you will, if you went to that site. So.
All right. So cool. We got dig.com, which is the way that society or the public eye digs up the information they feel is important instead of what the, I suppose, mass media establishment feels is important. So that's an interesting new social networking site.